Yes, my friends. So it's Larry living with blindness, and I'm here again discussing issues concerning my experience living with blindness. And I was reflecting on this month of May being Founders Day or Blindness Awareness Month in the Caribbean region, and I was recalling an incident of where we were invited to celebrate a week of disability many years ago, and the persons who were blind and visually who attended the function held by the state at a prominent hotel were guided into a room and left there for the entire event. And when I eventually found them, I asked them, I said, so because there was two groups of us, and my group went with because I have low vision, and I moved around with my group, and the other group was guided by somebody from the event, and they were placed on some chairs to sit. And when I eventually went through the program, which was a career fair day with a lot of booths and stuff, and about 2 hours later I found the other group. I said, you all ready to roll? You ready to go home? They said, go home, but we do nothing yet. I said, so what you all are doing all the time? They said they were sitting here. The people bring them and place them here to sit, and they were not aware. Now, in my mind, that was such a poorly organized event for persons with disabilities, because you have a group of blind people being escorted or guided by a person from the event. You put them down to sit there and didn't tell them what's next. You left them without saying your name. You didn't even have a contact number to call somebody. You don't know who to reach out to. And when you do reach out to somebody, they don't know what's going on. And these persons were left there, and they were not told anything. And then I reflect back on when I got married, and I had about 300 and something persons at my wedding ceremony, and I think about 1/3 of that were persons who were blind and visually impaired, and their relatives or friends, right? And the mere fact that my relatives grew up with me, and my cousins and my aunts, uncles, and so on grew up with me and understand my style or what is expected for me, for months after, not even probably years after, the conversation of the way they were treated at the wedding ceremony. They were always checked on, find out if they need anything, what they need to do. They were served. When they were moving around, people came up to them and asked them if they need any assistance, and it just reminds me that sometimes we invite people to functions, and we invite them to events. Persons who are blind and visually impaired are invited to events, and the host or people who invite them is not aware that you put them to sit there, but without any support or assistance. They don't know what's going on around them. They may ask a question, but it doesn't mean they are aware of what's happening. It doesn't mean that they are being served on or being assisted. And it also tells me that if I am going to an event and I'm visually impaired, I should also not depend on the host to be the person to assist me. I should also ask to bring along an escort or assistant or someone who can aid me in the process. So that's just a little tip for today, seeing that we're in Blindness Awareness Month, and letting people know what is possible although you are blind and visually impaired. So if you like what I'm doing, remember to like, follow, and share, and leave a comment if you can.